Welcome to the New Author Podcast, a weekly podcast diary starring Jerry Evanoff and Rich Casey. Join them weekly as they talk about writing, publishing, and marketing their books. And now, here are your hosts.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the New Author Podcast. Today is Monday, November 17th, 2025. It's episode number 336 of the podcast. I'm one of the hosts, Jerry Evanoff, and with me, as he is each week, is Rich Casey. And Rich, before you talk, I just wanted to say that I can see my neighbor's kitchen window through my door. Like my blind is open, her window is open, and I don't know, it's dark and I'm not sure what it is, but it looks like there's like a face pressed up against the bottom part of the window, and then an arm sticking straight up. Like if somebody, like the shower scene when she's like going down the wall in Psycho. And I even opened the door earlier and looked a little bit closer. I cannot tell what it is. It looks like a head and an arm. And I'm a little bit concerned about my new Amish neighbors. I don't know. How are you today?
This is your Amish neighbor?
Yeah, these are the Amish neighbors. Yeah.
I thought it was the other guy, the redneck guy.
No. I can't. Thank God, I can't see that side of the house. Thank God. I can only see that from my kitchen window, so I just can't see anything. I live in areas. I bought this house in 2001, and it's the first house that I ever bought. I bought it 10 days before 9/11, and it's the first house that I ever bought, on my own. And I didn't think about a lot of these things as I was buying, like the proximity to the neighbors. I wish I would have. I would have bought something else.
Oh yeah, I mean, that's what happens with your first house. You never.
Yeah.
You're just looking for a place to live, and we flew in here. I think I probably told the story, but we flew in here on a Friday. And by the time we left Sunday, we had bought the house. So we didn't even really look.
Was it your first one? Because I know it's been a while.
No, it's our second house.
Second one? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so how are you?
I'm doing well, but no matter how much I fiddle with these lights, I still get this reflection in my glasses. So
yeah. It's just what light does. I don't know if there's much. Well, wait. Didn't you buy the polarized ones?
Well, it could be a lot worse. It could be like that.
Oh, geez. Wow, you look like an alien. I like that. Or a robot. You look like something out of Doctor Who. I like that.
It's completely has to do with all this stuff coming off this browser. And I didn't get home in time. Like I said last week, I was going to copy and paste it on something beige or whatever. But
that's right. That's right. Yeah,
I didn't get a chance.
Well,
we'll survive. We'll survive.
Yeah, we'll get through this. Let's talk about our week. I have all kinds of I have all kinds of stuff from like love to hate and everything in between to talk about this week. So I learned a few things about myself. We'll talk about it. So it's a growing experience for me this week, Rich. We'll talk about it. So.
All right.
So let me jump down to my stats here for the week. Let me just start with the goal. The goal from last week was to get through chapter 15 in my reading aloud kind of final edit version, and I failed on that. I made it through chapter 14, so I just missed it by one chapter. This is a weird week. This coming week's weird. I mean, the next few weeks are weird when I'm trying to get this thing done, and I'm worried. December 14th is coming a lot quicker than I wanted it to, and I have to be honest with you, I'm concerned. I think if she sent me an email right now saying, "Hey, Jared, we can move you to January," I'd be like, "Yeah, let's do that. Let's move to January," because I feel like I'm going to get everything done, but I'm not going to be able to do what I want to do, which is make one last pass through and make sure that like all the clues are set up where I want them and that kind of thing. So I have a feeling I'm going to send it to her. I'm going to ask for a developmental edit. She's going to tell me it's terrible, give it back to me, and then I'm going to be able to fix it, which is fine. I'm okay with that. I hate the idea of her telling me it's terrible, but she did it last time and it seemed to work. So I'm okay with it this time too. So again, I failed. I'm 14 chapters through as of right now in terms of the reading out loud.
It's like it was really good except for the beginning, middle, and end.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the biggest, this character is loosely based on me because I'm the one who traveled to the manufacturing plant in Nebraska. This is set in Wyoming, but in Nebraska. Right. And I'm the one who was going through a software update that was a lot more smooth in the book than it was in real life. But this character is loosely based on me. And one of the points she made was, I hate the main character. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of hurtful. So I had to make it, I guess, less loosely based on me. So, yeah. Anyway, character did get the girl. So you know that in that case, it's not based on me at all. All right, so as I'm going through and doing this read aloud, one of the things I'm learning is that I'm adding about 200 words per chapter. That's kind of how it's been shaken out on average so far. So book 2 is now up 387 words to 84,827. We've been around the 85,000 section a while. Technically, it's up more than that, but I started counting the written words in the climax and not the plotted words. So I plotted about 2,200 words, and as of now, I'm about 1,200 words in. So it's about 1,000 that I knocked off there in doing that. So I mean, I'm sure it's going to get up another couple thousand as I continue to write the climax. But so I had a giant summary written in chapter 41, and now I'm not counting that. I'm only counting what's written in 41, and actually chapter 42 now. My word count is up because I have written some of the climax, and I'll talk about why in a little while. So I'm up to 2,018 words for the year to 161,415. Again, my goal was 145. I blew by that a couple months ago. And these new words come from the fact that I have been working on the climax. My words per hour for the year is down 1 to 1,287. I think I finished last year around 1,100 and something. So this is a nice jump for me. And I do think that I'm getting better as a writer. I can tell as I do this read aloud how I look back and go, boy, that writer 2 years ago was terrible. And now I'm editing it. So I do understand why my words per hour is up about 100 words per hour over what it was last year. So pretty happy with all of it. It was a good week overall. I mean, I did make a lot of progress. I just didn't hit my goal. It's a tough goal to hit. So.
But that happens sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I, on the other hand, I did manage to write 6 out of 7 days, which is really good. The only day I took off was yesterday, Sunday. My thriller that I'm working on is up 12,741 words to 43,162. That's 31,346 for this month. So, because I did start it at the end of last month, but I'm trying to keep track to see if I actually do the 50,000 word novel November or not. And my words per day is hovering right around 1798. Not too bad. I got 12,000 words plus over 6 days. It averages to about 2,000 words a day. Some days, a couple of days, I did only 1,000. One day I did almost 4,000. So it's kind of bouncing all over the place, just depending on how much time I have. I am 14 chapters in now on what's going to be a 35 chapter novel, and I'm at 43,000 words. So
oof.
We're looking at 100,000 words, maybe.
Yeah, we are.
I'm done.
Oh yeah, we are. Wow.
And I'm okay with that right now. I'm just in the back of my head. I'm just going, this will give me a lot to cut and work with. So we'll see what happens. My total words for the year is at 216,552. So
all right, so
not too bad.
Blew by our goals, both of us in that case. That's great. Looking back at last week, so Monday night after we podcast, I did talk about my experience with Fiverr last week on what I was doing, getting those notebook fronts and backs, and how it was kind of a bit combative with the person I paid to do the work. I remember saying that I thought I could do it myself, which, you say that, but I did open BookBrush and thought, wow, I think I can do this myself because it's really not that complicated what I'm trying to do. And BookBrush has a whole bunch of styles in their custom creator, including a bookmark style, which is what I'm using. So I'm going to go ahead and try to do this myself and not pay someone to on Fiverr. And this isn't the first time we're going to talk about Fiverr today. So I'm pretty sure. So that was Monday night. I kind of opened up BookBrush a little bit, experimented, didn't do anything with, just made sure, or just found out that it had the bookmark style and kind of the height and the width.
So is it like templates or?
Yeah, that's all it is. You can type custom sizes there, but they do have a whole bunch of sizes. Turns out they have Instagram Reel and TikTok sizes.
Right.
Tuesday, I did work from home on Tuesday, and I woke up to a snowstorm. Yay!
Another one. You had snow last week when we talked.
Well, it was Monday and Tuesday, so we talked on Monday night, so it was Monday and Tuesday when we had snow. Tuesdays when Monday it was more up towards Cleveland. Tuesdays when down here when we got, I woke up to a few inches. And I had Molly Maid come in that day. And so I did go out around 10 o'clock and shovel and put salt down, even though I knew it was going to melt like 4 hours later. Because I just didn't know what time they were coming. I didn't know what my sidewalk. So I did all that around 10 a.m. or so. Worked from home. So this is, I'm now reading through chapter 4. I was doing this at lunch. And I did not make it very far in chapter 4. I made it about a third of the way. Chapter 4 is a long one. It's about 3,500 words. And I did a lot of rewriting as I read it, which I don't necessarily want to do. There's this line between rewriting a sentence because it doesn't sound perfect and just leaving it go. But then what if it sounds bad? So it's like there's this line that I'm struggling with. And I've been struggling with it the whole time when it comes to doing this reading out loud thing, which I don't believe I've ever struggled with. My first 3, 4, 5 books I've written here and published or made freebies, I don't remember struggling with this. So it's weird. Maybe it's because it's 2 years later. That's the only thing I can think of is it's 2 years later. I'm 2 years, I'm 100 and what have I written in the last 200 and 300 and a whole bunch of words?
Yes.
Like 310,000 words, something like that. So maybe I'm 310,000 words better than I was when I wrote this, and that's why it feels like I need to rewrite it so much. So.
Yeah, for sure you are. And if you look back at any of your older writing, it always looks terrible. And you wonder, how you even could manage to put that slop down on paper. One thing did occur to me here as you were talking about the Molly Maids is that one day when they come, you're going to have to go, I write murder mysteries. How would you feel if you walked in the door and found a body?
I don't want to scare them off because then I'll have to clean my bathroom, and I don't want to do that, Rich.
Well, you never know. I mean, they say, well, that happened to us last week. Let me tell you what we did.
Actually, that's a good point. They probably have some good stories.
Yeah.
Especially the area I live in. So then Wednesday, I'm in the office. I work on the second scene of chapter 27. This is what I was going to be reading out loud to my writers club the next night. So I did finish it. I put it through Grammarly, put it in the Google Drive. And again, I did decide to go back to the writers club, even though I never actually quit. I just didn't go 1 month and never told anybody that I was quitting. And I just went back. I don't know if you've ever seen that episode of Seinfeld where George quits his job on Friday. He tells off his boss, screams at him. And then on Monday morning, he's like, oh, I better go back. I don't have anything else. And he goes back and just pretends it never happened. Well, that's kind of what I did. 3 weeks ago on this podcast, I said I was quitting for a whole bunch of reasons. And then I just went back. Luckily, I don't think anybody listens to it. So after work on Wednesday, nothing exciting. Thursday, I was in the office. And now I'm to the point where I know that I can't read out loud at the office. I just can't do it. I mean, maybe I can find a conference room. Don't have a whole lot of time to do it. So what I did instead was I decided to go ahead and start working on the climax whenever I'm in the office. So this is chapter 41, which is going to be multiple chapters by the time I'm done. But I did have to leave right at 4 o'clock to get to the writer's club. So I had a shorter lunch, about 35 minutes or so that I was able to write. I managed 749 words, and this is the beginning of the climax. So this is where those new words for the year come from. And the good thing about this is, over the next few weeks, as I'm finishing the reading out loud portion, I'll be getting this done at the same time so that when I get to the reading out loud of chapter 41, I should be done with it by then. Right. So I'm kind of working on it at the same time here. I did have my writers group in the evening. I'm glad I went. I mean, I'm honestly glad I went. This is a scene. This is a scene where I don't know if I explained this last week or not, but this is a scene where Sam and another girl kiss, and the dress comes off, and then he stops. He stops there because he's got the girlfriend in the back of his mind, and his best friend is going out with the girl he's kissing. It's a whole thing. And during this scene, her purse spills open and some objects fall out, and compact lipstick, and there's this other thing that falls out. So I read this scene, and I have these objects falling out, and then they decide to stop. He zips her up. They talk about it briefly. She goes down to the floor to pick up the objects that fell out, and then they leave the room.
And she forgets to pick up the finger, right?
She forgets to pick up an object, not the finger, but you're close. She forgets to pick up an object. So now the thing is the people that are reading this don't know the what's going on with this object she didn't pick up. They don't know how important it is. So they want me to why are you listing all the different pieces? And it's like, well, this is why. And then Dan was like, well, you need to cut this one. I'm like, Dan, you have no idea that is the most important sentence in the entire book. I can't cut that one. It's got to stay. So then I kind of explained to him what was going on. And at the end of it, they were like, well, you don't have to list all the objects twice. You have this object getting snagged in the side of a blanket. Everything else goes to the floor. At the end of it, just say she bent down to pick up her objects from the floor, the items for her purse are from the floor. Don't list every object twice, because that makes it really obvious what you're doing, how you're making it so that one object is left behind.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. So that was, and this is why I love this group. They're a pain in the ass. They don't always critique me the way I want to be critiqued. They babble on about other stuff that doesn't matter half the time, but they're really good at what they do. It's the weirdest thing. And if they're listening, I don't mean any of that as insults. It's just, you go for this small piece. You go to pan for that little piece of gold. You got to get rid of all the other garbage, but you find that nugget, and it's like, this is why I went, because they helped me work at that scene a whole lot. It was so funny though. I do have my main character kind of pulling away from the kiss, and then she looks up at him and she says, "Is it because of Danny?" And he just says, "Yeah, it's because of Danny." Well, they were like, "Why don't you mention her boyfriend? Like, you mentioned your 4-week long distance girlfriend, but you don't actually mention the boyfriend. He's part of this too. And I'm like, oh, I don't know if I want to mention the girlfriend or the boyfriend. And I'm like, I don't know if that says something bad about me as a writer, my personality or not. So I got to figure that out too. But the big thing is that they basically just, I think it was probably Mallory, because she's the best one in there doing this. She just probably said something to the effect of, just say she picked up her items from the floor. And I'm like, oh, when she said from the floor, I was like, there you go. That makes sense, because that item wasn't on the floor. Okay. So makes perfect sense. I'm very glad that I went, and I'm very, they helped me a lot in terms of just working out that scene. And that's why if you should find a writer's club, people, if you're listening to this, it's the one advice I would give you. I've been doing it since 2018, and it's been great. So there are times I don't know if I would have kept writing if it wasn't for that. So yeah. So that was Thursday. I came home to start I'm just going to say right now, Rich, the worst fantasy football week I've ever had in my life. We'll talk about that.
Oh no!
By watching the Thursday night game. It's very ironic with what happens there. So I sat and watched the game for a while. I went to sleep. Friday I had a half a day. At 11 a.m. I had to take my car in at 1 p.m. to get the sensor over the left front tire fixed. And 1 p.m. 1 p.m. is such a stupid time for me to say, yes, let's do it, because I'm getting off work at 11. If I would have done it at like 11:30, I could go right. If I'd have done it at 4 o'clock, I could go right. But right. 1 p.m., so I went to Target, ran a couple errands there. Then I drove over to the car dealer, sat there for about an hour and a half because he did have the part, which made me very happy. Got my laptop out. I took a phone call for a little while and then grabbed my laptop. Started to work on the Climax a little more. I only got about 15, 20 minutes in. I had 237 words to chapter 42. And yes, I've added a chapter 42 now. So we're splitting into 2 parts. I think it's only going to be 2. We'll see. I am kicking around, though, an extra chapter that has something to do with either the overall plot of the story. It has nothing to do with this book. It can be like, oh, and by the way, after this was over, the next night this happened. It has nothing to do with this book. It has to do with the overarching plot of the story or the serial killer. I haven't decided yet how I want to do that. But I think I want to add something. I have an idea of what it's going to be, but I don't know if it's going to work. So I got to think that around a little bit. But I do like the idea of it, not every single book, but maybe in like book 2, book 5, maybe book 6 or 7, adding something that has to do with the overall arch of this series, or the serial killer plot, which is book 8. We'll see. I don't know yet, but I might kick that. Or that could be something that I send it off to see. She sends it back, tells me how terrible it is, and then when I'm editing it, I add this chapter on my own, and then do I send it back for a copy edit? Probably. I just don't. That's like $1,000 in this to edit, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, right.
So then after I get home from the dealer, the car dealer, I see my drug dealer on Sundays. I started working on a landing page. So I want to have 2 different pages on my website: a landing page and my next page. The /next is done. Start working on the landing page. So the /next is what are you working on next, and the landing page is by book 1, basically. So they're going to be 2 different things I'm going to use for marketing, depending on who I'm sending these links to. Amazon ads, things like that, Facebook ads, probably go to book 1. People that already have one of the books, if they've got like a bookmark that I'm going to put in there, has the QR code, the notebook with QR code, things like that, that'll take them to the next page because they've already bought it. So that's kind of how I'm thinking of it right now. That could change as we move along. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Saturday. Okay, so Saturday I did not go anywhere. I didn't go anywhere. I played my football game Friday for a while, for a couple hours, and Saturday morning I'm like, I got to read this out loud. I can't do this anywhere else. So I took Max to my mom and dad's. I grabbed some breakfast on the way back, and then I came home and procrastinated for like an hour before I actually started the editing. And around 10:30, I just start reading out loud. I started in the middle of chapter 4. What's that?
I was going to say, walking around your house in shorts and a t-shirt like a Shakespearean actor.
That's kind of what I'm wearing. That's what I'm wearing right now. So well, yeah, maybe.
You tell me that's what you always wear.
Yeah. It was 39 degrees this morning. I thought about wearing them to work. I really did. I'd wear a hoodie so my arms weren't cold. Right. I always wear shorts. Anyway, so I got some breakfast. About 10:30 is when I started. I bet on a couple of college football games, so I just put ESPN on. So when the game started, I could just peek up at them every now and then. And I did begin reading out loud. And started in the middle of chapter 4, and I made it all the way to the end of chapter 11 before stopping. This is about 4 o'clock. So this felt like a full work day for me. Yeah. Going all the way to 4 o'clock. And I've kind of discovered, this is one of the things, Rich, that I learned about myself as a human being. I hate this. I don't like this part of the process at all. I don't know if I said this last week or not, but I always think to myself, what would Lindsay Buroker do? the WWLBD or whatever. Because my thought is she just sits down and writes a book, she edits it, and she's done. Because she's that good. And I'm like, I don't think Lindsay Buroker walks around her house reading her story out loud. So why should I do it? And then I read it out loud and realize, well, this is why I should do it. This is terrible.
Yeah.
I need to edit it. But I mean, the number of times in this process that I've thought to myself, would Lindsay Buroker, I don't know why her, but would Lindsay Buroker do this? Yes or no. But I do it anyway because I have to. Because I'm not super successful like she is.
Anne Lamott, I think it's Anne Lamott, says that language is, even reading is it's just like a song and like a singer. And if you're not careful, the words on the page aren't melodic enough, and the reader will stumble over them and just eventually get tired. So that's why you read aloud, so that you can hear the sound of the words and how they go together. But
you say that, and now that I'm thinking about it, the voice in Microsoft Word is really good in terms of, it's not that robotic AI voice. Mm-hmm. If you right click on Word and say, read this out loud, it's actually pretty good. Mm-hmm. I might try that tomorrow at lunch. I may copy my chapter into Word and then just right click and read it aloud and see if it's any different from when I read it out loud. See if it makes a difference.
Yeah, it probably actually, I'm trying to think in the back of my head, somebody made the point that having somebody read it to you is maybe better than you reading it yourself, because as you're reading it yourself, you can fill in a mistake or a missing word or whatever, because you know what it's supposed to say. But if you're listening to it, somebody else reading it, it becomes really obvious.
I think I'm going to do that tomorrow at lunch. Yeah, I think you're right. All right, so I made it all.
Then play it on 3x, so it sounds like a chipmunk.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. I mean, if I get tired of doing this, I might do that anyway.
Yeah.
So didn't do anything after that. I just kind of relaxed a little bit. It's weird how just reading out loud for 5.5 hours makes you tired.
Oh yeah.
6.5 hours, 5.5 hours makes you tired. So I didn't really do much after that. I just kind of sat around on the couch, watched TV, and went and got my dog, and then went right back to the couch and sat around and watched TV on it. And then Sunday in the morning, I didn't go anywhere again. Took Max and my mom and dad's just for a couple hours on this day, play with their dog, run around the backyard. About 8:30, I took him over there, and I kept reading out loud. We had another football game at 9:30. Thank God that's the last one this year. So I had it muted. I kept an eye on it, just because I do have a couple players in my big money leagues across the Washington team. And but I actually went from 9:30 or 8:30 until about 11, a couple hours. I went how far did I get here? I got through chapter 14. So I did 12, 13, and 14. And then I stopped right at 11 a.m. because that's when the fantasy pregame show that I listen to on Sirius XM starts, and I need to be ready for this. This is a rough week because I was without my best player in my big money league, Jonathan Taylor, and I had a lot of guys who weren't very good. I was struggling with my quarterback choice in that league, and I'll just spoil it right now. I'm in 16 fantasy football leagues, and I'm pretty sure and I'm not exaggerating when I say this, I'm pretty sure I lost in all 16 of them this week. Sunday was rough. Now the funny thing is that in my big money one, where I'm in first place by 52 points, the guy in second place was worse than me. So I actually extended my lead by scoring the third least amount of points in the entire league for the week. And I have a guy playing tonight, so I'm actually going to extend it a little bit more because he has no. So it's weird, but I'm pretty sure I lost everywhere else.
I was thinking as you were talking there that a lot of people who had been doing well probably did bad this weekend, just because the games were so weird.
They were awful.
Yeah.
The quarterback play across the board, except for Josh Allen, was really, really bad. So I got your boy there, Amon-Ra St. Brown, on one of my big money teams. I think he had like 2 catches. That doesn't happen. He's like the best receiver in football. That does not happen.
Yeah. It was terrible.
Yeah, it was bad. So and because it was so bad, I was kind of walking around the house. I wasn't necessarily paying attention. I did some cleaning back here. I did some laundry, all the stuff that I do around the house on Sundays while I'm watching football. I had it muted until 11, and then I listened to the pregame until 1, and then I just kind of had Red Zone on, and I was doing other stuff. And another thing that I learned about myself is that I can get this reading out loud done pretty quickly. Because when I did this in the past, I would come home from work. I worked 5 days a week in the office. I'd come home at 5:30, 5:45, and I'd read a couple chapters to myself. Then I'd move on with my life. I wasn't doing that this past week. I literally, on the days I was in the office, I worked on the Climax for an hour at lunch, and I came home and did nothing. Like there was no reason for me to not do something. So one of the things I'm going to do starting Wednesday. Well, I can't do it Wednesday, but starting this week, I can't. And actually, next week I'm not in the office at all either. Boy, it's not going to work out. But still, one thing I'm going to do is I am going to spend more time during the day, even when I work from home after work. I'll log off at 4:15, and then I'll just read a chapter or two. That's all I have to do. And then on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, that's when I really concentrate on getting a whole bunch done and see if I can get done a lot quicker than the pace that I'm on right now. So, other thing that I did during that day is I made a reel. I made a 4-picture reel for both Instagram and TikTok.
Okay.
And I posted them on Instagram and TikTok. No links back to the book. Nothing that says this is a book series for the most part. And then I posted them. And I told ChatGPT, like my virtual assistant that I'm trying to do, kind of walk me through what to do, how to do it, because I've never used TikTok in my life. And got it posted. And then it said, okay, come back in 90 minutes and tell me what the stats are. Okay. So I went to Instagram and nothing there. And I went to TikTok. I'm like, okay, looks like there were, 57 views, no new likes, no new follows. And I said, okay, here's what you do. Post another one at 7:30. And I'm like, whoa. No. I don't like this. This is another thing I learned about myself. I don't want to do this, Rich. I do not want to do this. What I want to do is I want to find a teenager who's good at this, and I want to pay them to just do it for me.
Right.
I don't know what the going rate of that is. It's probably pretty high, but I would pay them, $50 a post on the 2 platforms, not $100 for 2, but 50 for one, maybe a couple times a week. I mean, you're getting into like $400 a month. Do I want to pay that much? Not really. But if it starts to show results, yeah, I do. I don't want to do it. I hate it. I told ChatGPT, I want to do this like once a week. I don't know if that's going to work, but I did not enjoy this at all.
Yeah. If you ask ChatGPT, they're going to tell you to post, 5 to 10 times a day.
Yes. And I don't want to go back to Fiverr. I don't want to deal with trying to vet someone. Now that I think about this out loud, you had talked about going to Read last week, so maybe I'll take a look at them later on. But what I'd really like to happen is I just like to know someone who does this. Yeah. One of my friend's kids, a friend of a friend, something, my niece, a friend of mine. I would just like to know someone because I don't really know anyone who does anything for me writing related. As far as I know, I pay everybody to do everything because I don't have that friend who does that thing. So I'd love to just know someone who does this. So I'm going to poke around a little bit to find out if anybody knows how to do that. Because I really like, even if it's just like once a day posting, and I could get away with paying somebody like $350 a month, I may do it just to see if it shows results. Mm-hmm. And if it shows results, just it's worth it. Then I'll just keep doing it. So, right. But yeah, I did not enjoy this process.
Well, but until you get some books out there, I mean, it's going to be kind of hard to even define results. So,
right. Yeah. So, that was yesterday. And then this morning I decided yesterday morning I was going to go into the office today just to get it over with. So now I only have to go one more time the rest of the week, and I'm going to go Wednesday. I don't have to go at all next week because it's Thanksgiving. We don't have to go in next week at all, which is nice. If you count, I only have 5 more times this year that I have to go into the office, which is nice because I have some work from home days. We don't have to go in Thanksgiving week, Christmas week, or New Year's week. And so I only have 5 more times I have to drive up there until the end of the year.
Oh, you get the whole week off for Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, not off work. We just don't have to go in the office Monday, Tuesday.
Okay.
I'm still working, but we don't have to go in the office.
Okay.
Same with Christmas and New Year's. I have to work Monday, Tuesday, Friday both weeks, but I don't have to go into the office either of those 2 weeks. Okay. So, then today, yes, I went in the office today just to get it over with. And why is Stevie Lamb on the bench? That's weird. Anyway, sorry, shiny things. So I went in the office today, and then at lunch I continued working on the Climax. How many words did I do today? I had a pretty good day. I think I did a little over 1,000. I have it right here. I took my normal lunch about an hour and 20 minutes. I spent the first 15 minutes or so eating, and then I ended up writing 1,032 words in about 50 minutes. So I'm probably halfway through the Climax, maybe a little bit farther than halfway. The thing that I'm struggling with is making it longer. Like I need it to drag out a little bit. So I'm creating a little bit of tension here and there. I've got one guy standing up and then getting put in handcuffs, trying to make it a little more tense of a scene than just having my character go, your motive is this and your motive is that. And you did it. That kind of thing. It's kind of boring. Right. So I'm trying to do that a little bit, but I'm probably about halfway, maybe a little over halfway through the Climax. And I like this, this week, tomorrow I'll work on the reading out loud because I'm working from home. But Wednesday I'm in the office. I'll work on the Climax, and I'd love to get it, close to done, if not done by the end of the day. Came home, nothing exciting. I kind of ate some dinner. I made some really good potato soup on Friday night. I'm just kind of polishing that off. It's missing one ingredient. I can't figure out what ingredient it is, but it's really good anyway. So it's mostly milk. It's like 7 cups of milk, some cream of chicken, some flour and some butter, and then a whole bunch of potatoes and some bacon, some cheese.
Whatever's wrong with it, more bacon will fix it.
Well, I do put more bacon bits on top of it once I heat it up. So yeah, you're right about that. So I'm going to watch this game. I'm really hoping that Jake Ferguson, the tight end for the Cowboys, can catch a touchdown or two because he is who I have in my big money league. And the farther out I can extend my lead, the happier. I did have Sam Darnold as my starting quarterback, who threw for 250 yards and 4 interceptions yesterday. So that's not good.
I saw that.
Yeah. So I'm really hoping I'm really hoping Ferguson can do something in this game. So yeah. So and there's Brock Bowers. Nice. So yeah, that's what we got going on.
Well, you had a much more detailed and actually specified week than me, because to be honest with you, I have no idea what I did other than I've got Monday through or Tuesday through Thursday, got up for work, went to work every day, managed to sneak in some writing time here and there, especially on Thursday, where that's the day I got 3,900 plus words over the course of the whole day. But the way you keep track of it as words per hour, I'm probably only averaging down around 700 or 800 words per hour, maybe not even that, because I'm just slow and I'm constantly being interrupted. And then Friday, I wrote early. It was only 1,000 words or so, and I spent the rest of the day milling lumber. I've periodically here and there when I had the opportunity, and trees have fallen or if somebody wanted the tree cut down, I would cut it down and I would chainsaw it up into big long planks, 10, 12-foot planks. And I've just got them all stacked in the shed. And I finally decided I got to get rid of all this wood. I'm never going to go through all this wood unless I start doing something. So I took a whole bunch of it out, a bunch of chestnut oak, and cut it up into size and planed it down to finished lumber. And then on Saturday, I took that lumber and I made a couple of farm gates out of it.
Nice.
The ones I had made about 10 years ago or so had finally rotten away in our back 40. So I'm going to replace them. They look real nice. I went out and bought some Thompson's water seal with a cedar tint to it, so they look a little bit like cedar now that I've water sealed them. So yeah, at some point I'll take a picture and post it on social media when I actually get them up. Probably tomorrow morning, actually. So I did that Saturday. Also in the evening, I got a chance to write a little bit. Just a little over 1,000 words. Saturday was kind of a bummer because we had our millage election for the library, and it was defeated by something like 3,000 votes out of something like 80,000 or whatever. So it was close, very close. And it's not the library, and I think I probably complained about this already on this podcast about the way the mayor had tried to snag all the library's reserves. Discovered he couldn't get them because they were dedicated monies by the voters. So what he's tried to do with this election was to get the voters to approve shifting the money over to the city, and also at the same time, it bundled up in the same proposition was renewing our millage. But between the people who hate the library and the people who love the library that wasn't going to let the mayor get away with that, it went down to defeat. So
we're looking the library?
What's that?
What kind of weirdo hates the library?
Oh, there's lots of people in the city that hate the library. Yeah,
weird.
They always come out around millage time too. People just hate taxes. Period. And they hate they hate anything that's good in life. anything community oriented they hate. So I don't know what the library administration is going to do. They've got about $100 million in the bank. That's enough to get them through 2 or 3 years with no more revenue. They will go back and try to get another millage passed at some point, which will be fine. But yeah, that was a little bit of a downer. Sunday, not sure what I did Sunday. I watched a lot of bad football, is what I did, including the very last game of the day, in which I was trash talking back and forth with my sister-in-law, who lives just outside Philadelphia.
Okay.
And is a big Eagles fan. But we both agreed about halfway through that game that this is one of the lousiest games we've ever watched. So,
it's terrible. Yeah. On that same team that I have, Amon-Ra St. Brown, who had 2 catches for like 8 yards. I also have Devonta Smith, who I think had 1 catch for 8 yards.
Yeah.
So it's just terrible.
Yeah, it is just awful. So, yeah, so that was bait. And today I was back at work bright and early and really busy today. In between, I had like 4 hours worth of private consulting people coming in wanting to do one-on-one work with me, and then the rest of that spent on the desk because of one of my coworkers didn't come in. We were slightly shorthanded. So yeah, I didn't get. I got some writing done today, not a whole lot. I think I may, if I remember correctly, it was like something like 2,100 words or whatever, but it wasn't a lot. So my week was just weird. It was just a blur of working, writing when I could, and then just being teed off at the Lions, which is, I think I wrote you. Maybe it was you. Maybe it was somebody else. Said the 2020 era Lions were on the field. Yeah. And that's exactly what it looked like.
My one buddy texted me and said something about how he feels bad the Browns lost. And he's a Steelers fan, and I think he legit feels bad the Browns lost. He's not like a Browns hater. And I wrote, I'm like, yeah, see, Brian, you're not a lifelong Browns fan like I am. They lost. It feels like everything's just normal. It's just like this. This shows me that everything's just gonna be a normal week.
That's right.
Nothing topsy-turvy is gonna happen today. So yeah.
Speaking of 4 interceptions, wasn't that the number that Shedeur had?
I think he only had 1.
Oh, did he only have 1?
Yeah, I think he only had 4 completions, but he only had 1
that's what it was. Yeah, you're right. Maybe 4 completions.
Yeah. It was
4 for 20 something or whatever.
It was just so ugly. Oh God, it's ugly. Anyway, yeah.
And I've got nothing new going on in my life. Future list of things to do. We're going to be leaving next week for Thanksgiving at my in-laws. I got to get some tickets for Christmas, maybe, or decide just to drive up there at Christmas. Tickets are really expensive this year. I'm kind of surprised to get from New Orleans to Detroit. Round trip is like something like $800, whatever.
Wow,
which is a lot. Yeah.
Can you do that direct, or are there layovers? You have to.
No, it's a direct flight.
Oh, is it? Okay, that's good.
Yeah. But in off season, like the last time I went up to see my mother, I only paid $225 or whatever. Wow. So that's a huge difference. It's just gouging for the holidays.
Yeah. I don't have anything new either. I have this Instagram style ad that I wrote on here, and I kind of have done that, although, it's not what it didn't come out the way that in my head, which it probably never does. In that way, but
what's your TikTok account?
I'm not saying.
Oh,
I'll tell you after.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I don't want people going there just to view it. I want to make sure that I get the right.
Yeah, I remember.
If you're a reader, you'll find it. And if you're not a reader, I don't want you to go there and follow.
You were talking about that last week. I forgot.
I think I might have even said it last week. I don't remember. Anyway, yeah. So I don't have anything new. Am I addicted to? I thought about this earlier. I don't really have anything exciting. And maybe I'm addicted to bad football because that's all it's really on. But I've been reading out loud. I've been playing my football game right here, down here in front of me. I've got the wonderful 1985 Miami Dolphins. There's Dan Marino, nice. Quarterback. Yeah. He's a 5. That's the best rating you can be. Yeah. Love me some Dan Marino. So I've been doing that, and just nothing really special stands out in terms of addicted to. So I don't really have anything.
I saw something come across my feed the other day in YouTube. It was a video of the I think it was a 1939 game between the Browns and the Bears or something like that.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I had no idea why it popped up in my feed, but yeah, it was there. And then
is it because I sent you the video of the Filipino family singing Bon Jovi?
Yeah. Yeah. I'll probably get a lot of those now coming up. In fact, I do. I do anyway.
You can't beat it. It's great. You can't beat it. I watched them singing Roxette earlier. It's great.
Yeah. Am I addicted to? Yeah, really nothing. I ran out of ice cream last week, early in the week, so it wasn't ice cream. I guess if you really want to go identify something, you could probably say Xanax, because I think I've been taking a Xanax every night before I go to sleep, because
Nice.
it works so good as a sleeping pill.
Yeah, I don't know if that's what it's made for, but nice.
Yeah. When you get to be my age, you got all kinds of aches and pains. So that little bit, take the edge off a little bit so you can sleep well. But,
it's fair. It's fair. Yeah. Well, in terms of coming up for me, I think we're a little bit shorter this week. Coming up for me this week, it's an interesting week. I'll be working from home tomorrow, and we'll see how much editing I get done at lunch. Again, I'm probably going to read out loud. I may do what I talked about earlier, have the Word document read it out loud to me. The only thing about that is I make so many changes as it's being read that I'm going to be stopping her, making a change, then having her read it again. But I think that'll be okay. Maybe I'll come back here and do it so I'm not sitting at my computer up front in a little bit of a different environment. We'll see. Wednesday, so I'll see what I can get done. Wednesday, I'm in the office. I'll continue working with the Climax, chapter 42. Hopefully try to get it done, or at least really, really close. And in the evening, I'm having dinner with my previous job, my Parker Hannafin friends, at our Mexican place that we go to. Try to get one in before the holidays. So that'll be nice.
That sounds so much like Dunder Mifflin. That
Parker Hannafin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes I felt like it was run that way too. But, yeah. Thursday, I'm working from home. So Wednesday, going into the office is the last time I have to go into the office until at the earliest, the Monday after Thanksgiving. So I'll have a good week, almost 2 weeks off, which is great. So let's see. That's Thursday working from home, and I'll continue to read out loud. Friday, I'm working from home. I'll do a half a day. Try to do, and I probably won't go anywhere. It really disappoints me. I really like going to like BW3 and just hanging out for a few hours. But again, reading out loud. I wonder, now that I say that, if I'm going to have, what, this is, okay, we're going to do a little bit of test tomorrow. If I'm happy with the Word doc reading to me, then I will go to Buffalo Wild Wings on Friday, and I'll take headphones and just Bluetooth it into my computer, and I'll just do it that way. Because I really do like going out there, being out there for a couple hours. The only difference is I don't think I'll have as much time because I'll have the 20-minute drive back and forth. And I don't generally stay there for 5.5 hours like I did on Saturday. I stay there for a couple hours. So we'll see.
Well, and the problem will be with all those TV sets is your mind will wander. You won't be paying attention.
Well, it's the middle of the day on a Friday. There's really not a lot of sports on. I mean, if golf is on, I might peek up at it. But other than that, there's really not a lot on there because I've gone there before like that. I had to put I have the reading glasses that see close up. And I can't even see the TVs when it's like that. So I think I'll be okay, but you could be right. Because I'm sure that's happened in the past.
Whenever I had the even with audiobooks and stuff, they'll be playing, I'll be following along, and then suddenly I realize I stopped following along about 10 minutes ago. I have no idea what's going on.
Come home, I'll probably play my football game afterward, which I have set up here. I showed Dan Marino earlier. Dan Marino's opponent in this game, another Dan Fouts.
Ooh.
So there's a lot of passing in this game. It's a fun one so far. I'm enjoying it. So I'll play that a little bit. Saturday and Sunday, again, I'll probably stay home and continue the reading out loud. We'll see how that goes. If it goes well Friday, maybe I'll go to Chick-fil-A Saturday morning and just stay home on Sunday, something like that. And there's no early game Sunday, thank God. So I can basically work all the way up to like 11:30. And then Monday, I am working from home, so I'll continue the reading out loud stuff in the evening or at lunch. And like I said, I'm working at home all week, which is great. Mm-hmm. The goal, and I'm just going to make a big old goal right now to work toward. That's just get done. Get the reading done. It's a lot of chapters I'm putting on myself right now. It's like 30 chapters. I don't think I'm going to be able to do it, but I know a lot of these chapters as I go forward are shorter. I had a couple different 500 word chapters early on, and I know as I go farther into it, they are shorter. So we'll see what happens. I probably won't make the goal, but I'm going to make that goal because I really would love to get done. Basically by, I won't get done this week, but I'd love to get done by the Sunday of after Thanksgiving. So then I have a couple of weeks to make whatever little changes I want to make to it. Just review it, make sure I'm happy with it before I send it off to see. Right. So yeah.
Well, my week coming up is Tuesday through Sunday. I'm working at the library every single day. So I'm going to write when I can. I do have a goal. I want to get at least another 12,000 words because if I do that, then there is a chance I'll be able to hit 50,000 on the month because I'll be up in the 40,000s and should be able to do that in the last few days because I don't know if I'm going to get any writing done next week because next week, Monday, is when we leave for Thanksgiving at the in-laws. So we probably won't be able to record. We'll have to take that week off. And remember, it's up in the mountains. It got lousy.
Yeah. When is that again? That's the
next Monday.
The Monday after Thanksgiving. Week from today.
Monday before. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll be back on the following Sunday, so we'll be able to do it.
When do you leave?
Monday morning, first thing, daylight.
Okay.
Whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, something like that. So yeah, I'll be in Blacksburg, Virginia for Thanksgiving. I'll probably be little to no writing. I got number of things I have to do for my father-in-law, including fix one of his vans, which if I successfully get it fixed, he's going, and my wife wants it. She's going to get it. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So you're going to your in-laws and you have a honey-do list?
Yeah. Well, father-in-law. I always have a
father-in-law list. Do list.
Yes. Yeah, I always do. And my son and daughter-in-law are coming down too. So
nice.
Yeah, we got a lot. We're going to be moving a big pile of mulch and doing all kinds of stuff for him.
That's gotta be nice having them in Michigan now. They can get to the family stuff a lot more frequently than in the past.
Yeah. They'll be real nice. And in terms of stuff to share, I got nothing.
Yeah, I don't either. I mean, I've been watching the Kelsey Humphreys videos. I really, really like those. And just like there's a couple of Book Box. I mean, it's just all the same videos I've been watching, the Book Box videos and some of the other ones that are out there. But I don't really have a whole lot to share either. It's just trying to get through this stinking this draft. So
I'm even kind of turned off a podcast now. I haven't listened to a podcast all week. So
I listened to like 5 of them today. Not all writing, but I think I listened to a fantasy football one. I listened to Tony Kornheiser. I listened to a true crime one. I listened to 2 writing podcasts. That was my day today at work. I just listened to those. Yeah. Wow. Okay.
You listen to them while you work, while you code?
Yeah. Really? Yeah, I can't listen to. Yeah, it's funny. A lot of people will be like, they listen to music. I can't listen to music because I sing along with the lyrics.
Oh, okay.
But I can listen to podcasts because it's just it's just words going into my head. Who cares? And the stuff I'm coding isn't very hard.
That's interesting.
So I can't listen to music.
I would think you need to concentrate more than that. But
there are certain podcasts like the Case File True Crime podcast. I can't listen to that while I work because I do concentrate on the story a lot when I'm listening to that one. But other ones, they just bounce off me and whatever.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, that's going to be it then for the podcast. So Rich said that we probably won't do one next Monday. Do you want to try to? I mean, we're kind of talking out loud here. Do you want to try to do like a check-in on Saturday or Sunday, real quick, or?
Well, let's wait till later in the week and see what kind of position I'm in.
All right.
In
So
terms
you'll
of
either
being
hear
ready
us.
To leave.
You'll hear us a week from today, or you'll hear us in 4 or 5 days, 5 or 6 days, or you'll hear us 2 weeks from today, one or the other. So. Right. If you want to get in touch with me, you can email me, jerry@jerryevanoff.com. The website is jerryevanoff.com. Again, facebook.com/jerryevanoffauthor. I'm going to dust that off when ChatGPT tells me that I'm allowed to. And that's what I got so far.
Yeah, my email address is rich@richcasey.com, and I'm still on Blue Sky at Casey himself. Getting myself into trouble with the shit posting a little bit, but it's okay.
No. All right, everyone, that's going to be it for the podcast. We'll talk to you sometime between now and Christmas. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, take care, everybody.